Good morning and welcome back to Garden Bug Poetry. As promised, our poem today is An Ode to My Belly Button. Shallow friend, can it be that we were once attached to a cherry tree? I have seen the roots outside our house and they appear to be the right size to sneak inside my belly's eye. I am sweet enough, you see, to belong to such a great and fruitful tree. Besides, from the video Mommy and Daddy showed me, this makes much more sense. So the lesson for today, origin stories aren't just for comic book movies, right? There are moments, decisions, actions, choices, that determine the people we become, and it works the same exact way for poetry, right? The final version of a poem is something that we're always happy to share and happy to show and talk about, but poems, writing poems, drafting poems takes a lot of work, and what you end up with in the end is not always where it began in terms of the origin. Sometimes you've got an idea for a poem, something fun you want to play with language-wise or image-wise or narratively, a story. And it might begin in one place and end in a completely different place. And that's part of the fun of writing multiple drafts of poems and playing with different things. Earlier in the week I talked about the 17 different things you can think about when you start to write a poem. And we talked about a couple of them. But one of the ways that poems change and we do different things with them is by writing different versions of the same idea, trying to get the language, or if you like rhyming, trying to get the rhymes right, trying to get different patterns in the poem, how you want them to work. And they all can be executed different ways, and that's why drafting and trying different things and experimenting with poems can be so much fun. So this week, while you're thinking about writing your poems, think about the ways in which you have multiple drafts when you're writing and how you're trying to make it become one thing and then it becomes another. But think about the origin stories of the poems you're writing and try to write them different ways. Experiment and have fun. That really is one of the best parts about writing poetry, is all the different things you get to try with language, music, when to make things rhyme, when to take the rhyming away, when to do different things, and to end up with an end result that might be the 10th version of something, the 15th version. Some people spend years writing a poem. Some people are in belief that, you never write a final draft. There's just lots of different drafts, but you're never done tinkering or playing or trying different things. And that's a fun thing to think about, that there's always drafts of poems. There's no writing a bad poem or a poem that fails or a poem that doesn't work. It's just that draft. And then you try a different draft and you try a different thing. And it can be ongoing. And it's one of the more fun things about writing poetry, right? So, prompt number 1 for the younger kids. Write a poem that starts with the phrase, I am made out of this, whatever it is. I'm made out of this. What is your origin story? How are you put together, right? And prompt number 2 for the older kids. Start a poem by writing the phrase, I will become, right? You're at a point in your life where you're starting to understand the world a little bit and you're starting to grow and get smarter and more ambitious. So older kids, start your poem with, I will become this. Right? So different sort of origin point starters for the younger kids and the older kids. And obviously, please send in your poems to gardenbugpoetry@gmail.com. We're starting to get them more often, which is fantastic. And in fact, we have one coming from New Orleans that Isabel is going to read in just a moment here. We'll be right back.
Poem by Owen from New Orleans. Not a funny poem. I know this is not a funny poem because I'm just not making it funny. Sorry, I saw a bunny. I know that's not funny either. Oh, there's a feather hot dog for sale. And did I hear hot dog for sale? Yum. I want a hot dog. Sorry, I'm not funny because of my doodling, but yeah. Thank you.
For sending your poem. That was fantastic. Please remember this weekend we won't be posting videos. We'll have our next one up Monday morning. Please, we've got 2 weeks of prompts and videos now. Feel free to watch any of them. Send in the poems for any prompts. It doesn't have to be the newest ones. Just send them to gardenbugpoetry@gmail.com and we'll get to read them and hopefully read some of them in the videos coming up. I'm hoping wherever you are, it's a beautiful day. It is, again, a beautiful day here in Columbus. We've been outside for most of the day. And I hope wherever you are, I hope you're staying healthy. I hope you're staying ornery. And we will see you again next week for more Garden Bug Poetry. Thank you.